Now, I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into a day in the life. A lot of people watching this will naturally be aspiring to study natural sciences or physics in particular. Could you perhaps allude to some of the topics that you're thinking about in first year and perhaps how that's stepped up from A level in some way?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'd say in first year, a lot of this stuff is getting, especially in Michaelmas in first term, it's getting everybody up to the same speed. So getting everybody working on the same page and you're able to talk to everybody in the same sort of language effectively. So your math skills are like put to, I'd say, A level further maths within the first few weeks. And then your physics skills, they're just building on basic dynamic stuff that you've done before. And then going from that, you you build onto topics like rotational mechanics and special relativity, which are really, really nice. And they are like the first year topics, those are lovely. Then you move on to some more complicated ones like optics and waves, and you talk about a bit of quantum, but not very much. So it's still interesting stuff. And then in the last term, you do fields where it's magnetic fields, gravitational fields, and electric fields, and now they become like your bread and butter. Like you love them by the time you get into second year, or at least I do. And some people may not like the fact that I like it, but here we are.
And how much of a step up was it from A level? I'm aware that you did further maths to AS level, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely correct.
How did you find stepping into an environment where I presume most people have done further maths at their A level entirely, and in which you're surrounded by a lot of maths geniuses and whizzes? How did you find that?
Yeah. Well, to begin with, it is very, very daunting. It really is. I can't stress that enough. And everybody is in those shoes. Like, not even, I did AS for the maths, like you said, and the skills in that weren't they weren't really compatible or comparable to the ones that people had done in A level further maths. And you could tell that they had a step up at the start, but it's fine because the way in which the course is built is that even if you do, by the end of the third or fourth week, everybody's on new stuff. So you're all in the same boat. And as well, they run two separate maths courses, Maths A and Maths B, where one's a tiny bit more accelerated. There isn't really that big of a difference. But if you do one of them, you can always switch. So if you feel like it's going a bit too quick, I'd always recommend starting on the faster one, which was B in my year. This is for first year. Um, And if it's going a bit too quick, you can always switch to Maths A. It's still mostly the same stuff. It's just a bit less accelerated. But the way in which I got over it a lot was mainly by speaking to people. If you get yourself out there and you speak to more and more people on the course, you realize everyone's in the same boat, and
Mhm.
they really, really are.
Yeah, I find it really interesting how you don't necessarily need further maths to study natural sciences, and especially a physics degree, which strikes me as quite interesting because I'd imagine there might be a lot of year 11 students who are watching this right now and perhaps are thinking about what to study at A level. Would you say it's essential to have studied further maths at A level?
No, I wouldn't say it's essential at all. I'd say you'd be more than fine studying just maths and not doing further maths. It would be helpful if you enjoy maths, I'd say is the most important thing. If you're enjoying maths and you're enjoying physics and you want a bit more maths, it's a nice sort of getting into it kind of step, but you'll be absolutely fine if you just did maths. And I think at the end of the day, natural sciences as a degree is built for pick what you enjoy. So when you're in there, please do pick what you enjoy, because if you don't, it will show for you, especially in that first term. You'll realize, why am I doing these options? And you can always switch them.